I just got so distracted by Chad walking by with two massive tires. Back on track. So, here we are. Nothing but frame and a cross member. This is a very good starting point for this build as far as like building things back up. What's really cool is that this truck is staying pretty patina, which means that there's not a whole lot of mock-up that needs to happen. We can just paint as we go and assemble as we go, and that should be the final time that everything is assembled. That being said, we're starting the rebuild process now. We got the old cross member out and we can start putting a new cross member in. Before that, I'm going to clean up the frame, paint it, make it look nice. If you look really closely here, this truck has about as good of posture as I do, and it's it's really crooked. It's off to the side, specifically after this brace right here. So between this brace and the cross member, it held rigid, but it obviously took some damage here on the driver's side. We will fix this, but before we do that, we need to put the cross member back in. And the reason is because it's a little too flimsy to be trying to yank on it. We're gonna end up twisting the entire frame just with the sheer brute strength that I possess. So before I do that, I'm gonna put our new dope front suspension in it. That's gonna make it handle super well, but it's also going to brace up the frame enough so that we can put some twisting on this and get everything lined back up. And then when the front end comes back on, everything will be as mint as this patina truck can be. First try. We have some dope front suspension going on now, all adjustable, all spec'd out for some dope road cruising, or if we really felt like taking this truck to the track, it would actually probably perform pretty good. We've also got some great suspension for the rear. It's gonna take kind of a stock style where it's gonna use these same long arms, but it's all gonna be adjustable, it's gonna be braced, the panhard bar is upgraded, and it's all going to perform really, really well. I just got so distracted by Chad walking by with two massive tires. Back on track. So, in order to get all that shiny, beautiful suspension in here, I had to tear out all the old stuff. Exhibit A. I must have busted through about 30 rivets and took 2 years off my life with that. The suspension includes a C notch, that way the truck can be dirt nasty low and look super sick. I got a template made that will reference off of these two holes, and I can trace it out onto the frame. I'll come in with the plasma torch, slice and dice, clean it up, paint pretty things up, and then start assembling our new suspension into this dope patina truck. If we remember from before we put the suspension in, we were talking about this frame and it having terrible posture. I'm going to be the chiropractor for it, using what every chiropractor uses, a blowtorch. They're supposed to be, straight, coming out from this cross member here, perpendicular to it. So what I've done, and I've already done this for that side, is I have attached this bar. I've applied some welds, applied some clamps, so that it is thoroughly attached and holding on to the end of the frame horn. And then I'm going to use an oxyacetylene torch to get this section of metal where it tweaked and bent out of place just cherry red hot. That's gonna make it much more malleable, and then I'll pull it in till it's correct. I took a measurement that way, I took a measurement this way, so I know what the distance from this point to that point is supposed to be versus what it is. So I'll just start pulling on it until it gets to a quarter of an inch of that, because it's not going to be perfect, but I can get it really, really close using that method. So that's what I'm going to start doing right now. Light this up, heat that up, use my extendo bar, and just yank on it that way like some sort of caveman. That's what we specialize here, is caveman methods, lighting stuff on fire, and brute force. Okay, we're going to open up the oxygen nice and wide, make sure there's nothing nearby that can catch fire and explode. One more good yank. Okay, so it's almost straight, but it turned crooked this way, which I expected because it was like that to begin with. The bottom of it's pretty straight, it's just the top of it's turned inwards that way. So I just have to take it apart, reattach it vertically, and just tweak it over. Ready? Well, this floor has a bunch of rust on it, like loads of it. It's all the way on the rocker panel, on the floor itself. The first step with rust repair is you kind of need to identify what needs replaced, what is still structurally sound, what is just like slightly pitted and it has good metal to it. So one way is you just take a glove, you kind of just start to poke around a little bit, feel what is flimsy. All of this edge right here is pretty cruddy. Over here we can see a little more crud. I can feel it flexing a little bit. Some people will take a hammer and you can just gently tap across it and see what parts of the metal give. That's not structurally sound metal. As you can see, it gave out. So we're actually gonna be replacing this entire floor pan so that your feet aren't coming through the floor and getting polished by the road as you're cruising down the highway at 80. So yep, lots of cutting, lots of drilling, and fresh new metal to go in. Take the screws out.
We have a new instrument cluster cover here for the 69 Chevy C10, the gold truck. And we have our new custom classic instrument gauges. There we go, come check these out. These are unbelievable. When we saw these, we had to have them. And we actually got our logo put on there and they're very sweet. But this is gonna be very similar to what we did with the little red truck. Shouldn't be any teardown because we're gonna utilize a new bezel and slap that sucker on here. Hopefully it came with screws. If not, then I will be finding screws. But let's see what we got here. Okay, need some tape. Check these bad boys out, y'all. Those are magnificent and beautiful. They really do a nice job. Very good finish. It just makes gauges super easy. All right, let's set that there. This should have some screws in it. Here we go. That's what we're looking for. And they also send you root beer candies, which is fun. I don't see anything else. You can tell it's a Monday. Fits really nice. Oh, it fits decently close. Gonna have to maneuver a few of them, but these are pretty. Wow. And these guys go right there. That's why you clean before. If you ever have problems with your tape sticking, just clean it. It only takes a second. Green eggs and ham, green eggs and ham. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Let's go. Their wiring harnesses are very pretty. They do a very nice job with their wiring harnesses here. Classic Auto Instruments. And your gauges are what you look at all day, every day. You know, oh, how fast am I going? Then you get to look at bling. I'm just gonna get these close, then I'm gonna unscrew my gauges and get them right, tighten everything down, and then this will be ready for PT and his wiring harnesses to go to town. I am doing it by hand, but it is a better thing to do. With this plastic, you don't really want to use a gun. I think I left my screw gun at home, actually, so. These are ready to go back onto our shelf until they're ready to be installed. Once some boys are out there done underneath the dash, this will be one of the last things to go in. So. Install, 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 and then hopefully we can hear some engines fire and be able to see our gauges go, woo. It's gonna be cool. I'm excited.
Firing.